According to reports, former Florida Gators quarterback Emory Jones has transferred to Arizona State. Emory Jones formerly was a four-star recruit, the fifth-ranked dual-threat quarterback in the 2018 recruiting class. He also was the 85th ranked player nationally in that class as well. And when he came to Florida, he had a lot of high expectations. And before the start of last year's college football season, there were a lot of Gators fans who not only had high expectations for Emory, but many felt that he could be a dark horse Heisman contender, including myself. And boy, was I wrong about his performance last season. Like, I thought this guy was going to set the college football world on fire, and it didn't happen. He threw for 2,734 passing yards, 19 touchdowns to 13 interceptions, completed 64.7% of his passes. Like, Emory Jones was just wasted potential at Florida. Because if you're a Sun Devils fan and you're asking, JT, what player are we getting in Emory Jones? Well, you're getting a player that has a lot of upside. He has a good arm, and he is a really good athlete. As a matter of fact, last season for Florida on the ground, he ran for 759 rushing yards, had 4 rushing touchdowns, and averaged 5.3 yards per carry. So anytime this guy decides to tuck the ball and run, he's a threat to take it to the house at any time. However, he was inconsistent as a passer, and his inconsistency as a passer wasn't all his fault because Florida didn't really have the best team around Emory Jones. And let's not act like they did. I know there's going to be a couple of Florida Gators fans who are going to come on this video and be like, oh, JT, you're just making excuses for Emory Jones. Like, I'm not making excuses. Like, Emory Jones didn't play up to the level of expectations that many Gators fans had for him before the season started. But let's not act like Emory Jones was throwing to elite playmakers. Let's just call it what it is. Like, he had a couple of okay guys, but I mean, he didn't have a Kadarius Toney or Kyle Pitts like, for say Kyle Trask did. So I feel like Emory Jones needed a fresh start. Like, anytime there was an article that contained Emory Jones' name in it, there were nothing but hate comments from Florida fans. Like, I think it's fair to say that Emory Jones may be the most hated person or one of the most hated players from the Florida Gators football program in recent memory, because the guy is a very good person. Didn't really hear his name connected to anything negative off the field. Like, people were just harping on this dude because he had a disappointing season. And honestly, last season wasn't really that bad if you're looking at it from a statistical standpoint. 19 touchdowns to 13 receptions. Not really what you would expect out of somebody who kind of had the experience with the Florida football program. Like, the dude was with Florida since 2018. So yeah, 2018, 2019, 2020. So you come in 2021 with the expectation that, yeah, although he didn't have a lot of experience starting and playing, you would hope that, he would have a good knowledge of the playbook and the offense, that he could come in and look poised, and that never really happened. He didn't really look prepared in certain instances. He had some throws, well, not even some, he had a lot of throws that he would make and you would say, what are you doing? Why would you throw that there? And you also had, Dan Mullen going back and forth between him and AR-15, Anthony Richardson, which also didn't really help him because, how can you really get into a rhythm if you have your head coach taking you out the game every other play for the other quarterback? You can't establish a rhythm. You can't establish chemistry that way. You can't get the timing down with your wide receivers. So a lot of people are going to, criticize Emory Jones, saying that he sucks, he's not good. But if you're a Sun Devils fan, he has a lot of potential, he has a lot of upside. And if you are going to ask me, do you think he's an upgrade from Jaden Daniels? I don't really know. I'm just be honest. it's just one of those things that you have to wait and see. But for Emory Jones, like, I think this is what he needed. He needed change of scenery. He needed a fresh start. And Arizona State is a fresh start because he probably is going to be the favorite to start because Paul Tyson and the other quarterbacks that they have on the roster don't really have a lot of experience. And if you were to ask the consensus of Pac-12 fans who follow the Pac-12 conference heavily, many of them most likely would say that Arizona State, prior to this move, had the worst quarterback room in the conference. Now, I don't know how much this move of Emory Jones transferring to Arizona State changes people's outlook on how they view Arizona State, but you look at Emory Jones, like, the potential's there. All he really needs is for the right coach to come along and put everything together. And we've seen plenty of instances of players not really working out at other programs, getting a fresh start, and balling. And with Arizona State, like, this is a pretty good situation for Emory Jones because, like, he's going to be in a position where the starting job is pretty easy to win. I'm not going to say it's going to be a give me. He is going to have to win it outright. And he's going to have to do it in a short amount of time because he pretty much missed the majority of, all the spring for Arizona State. So he's going to have to come in on a short notice, learn the playbook, get the chemistry and timing down with his teammates fast enough that he can start week 1. But if you're a Sun Devils fan, like, I don't see no reason why you shouldn't be excited about this. Like, yeah, Gators fans are probably going to, talk Emory Jones down. But I mean, you have somebody who is a new face in the program. You have somebody who is super talented, does possess the ability to end up becoming one of the best quarterbacks in this sport. However, you just have to wonder if your coaching staff is going to be good enough to put all of the talent that he has together. And on top of that, Arizona State's team as a whole, like, it's not really that great. Like, last year, the wide receiving core dropped a lot of passes. They struggled getting off the line. They didn't really create a lot of separation. So you wonder how much the wide receiving core is going to be improved going into this season compared to last season. On top of that, you lost a really talented duo of running backs, one to the draft, one who ended up transferring. So for Arizona State, they have a lot of questions. And one of those questions is the quarterback position. However, if you are an Arizona State fan, you're hoping that Emory Jones can come in and provide you with some stability at the quarterback position and some pretty good play, which I think that Emory Jones is more than capable of doing. It just really depends on if this Sun Devils coaching staff can get the most out of the talent that Emory Jones has. So let me know what you guys think about this move down in the comment section down below if you are watching this on YouTube.